Hello students, welcome to my class. Today I will teach you the other half of the practical work. The first part of this chapter was already done in the previous video, and in this video I am going to teach you the action of heat and identification of anion. The confirmatory tests of the different gases that were evolved in the was there in the first video. This video will also take a little part of that and as well as help you answering some of the questions which were asked in the previous video, and some new questions also are taken into consideration. I will be also discussing about the different types of questions that can be asked in the board paper, and I will be sticking to your syllabus. So after you watch my video, you can go back to the chapter, read it, and then practice with all the chemical equations, and the observation part has to be learnt by heart, children. Okay, so children, please like, share and subscribe my channel, and I'm sure these videos are helping you. I will be also making a video which will help you how to be confident and do the least as much as possible cut down your mistakes. I will help you in that also, but a little later, of course. Let me cover up with few more chapters. So right now let's begin with practical work, and our topic would be action of heat, where you will get the question like, what do you observe when? Suppose the question is, what do you observe when copper carbonate is heated? So the chemical equation is copper carbonate is giving you copper oxide and carbon dioxide. So we have to talk about how do you know it is copper oxide and how do you know it is carbon dioxide. That means what do you exactly observe? And observation will always be the color change, the color of the precipitate, dissolution or insoluble precipitate, or the type of gas which is released. Now in this particular question, we all know the color of copper carbonate, we all know the color of copper oxide and the confirmatory test of carbon dioxide, which we did in the previous video, but I have written it down here for you. So just pay attention. The light green powder turns black because we know copper oxide is black in color. Now we talk about the carbon dioxide gas. A colorless, odorless gas is evolved that extinguishes a burning splinter and turns the lime water milky, as told in the previous video. Important to identify CO2. So in this particular part of the chapter, we are talking about the entire observation. That video was only telling you about the types of gases and how do you know that which type of gas is this, and how to identify between the two gases, what are their properties, what is the confirmatory test. All that was done. Here we are again going to repeat it, but at the same time the question type has changed now. Here the question type is about every change. What do you exactly observe? There the question was which gas was released. So here we are talking about CO, black in color we know, and all the detail about CO2. The next type of question, what do you observe when zinc carbonate is heated? So we know that we get zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. So we know about CO2, which we have written down here, therefore I have not repeated. Now we are going to talk about zinc oxide. The white powder, that is we are talking about the reactant, turns into pale yellow when hot and white when cold. So we know that zinc oxide is yellow when hot and white when cold. You have to write this as an observation question, which is important, which identifies zinc oxide, yellow when hot and white when cold, and every detail about CO2, that a colorless, odorless gas is released which extinguishes a burning splinter and turns the lime water milky. So if you say it once or twice, I am sure you will be learning by the end of the day. Okay. So the next type of question is, what do you observe when zinc nitrate is heated? Now zinc nitrate, when you heat, you get If it is a crystal, because it is mentioned, there can be question asking you only zinc nitrate is heated. There can be question asking you when zinc nitrate crystal is heated. Here the question is zinc nitrate crystal is heated. So on heating, you get zinc nitrate and water, which we did it in the previous video, that a colorless, odorless vapor comes out, which cools on the cooler part of the test tube and will turn the anhydrous copper sulfate white to blue. But when it is strongly heated, the zinc nitrate now on heating will give you zinc oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So now the observation would be the white crystalline solid changes to white sticky mass and steamy vapor. This is this one. On strong heating, reddish brown fumes. What are we talking about? We are talking about nitrogen dioxide is given out. And also another gas which rekindles a glowing splinter. What are we talking about? We are talking about oxygen. And the residue is yellow when hot and white when cold, because it is same zinc oxide, so I have not repeated it again. So questions like this have got 3 products out, and you have to talk about the identification or the observation of all the 3 if noticed. This is noticeable, so we know that the residue is yellow when hot and white when cold. We know nitrogen dioxide, this is reddish brown fume or brown color. We know oxygen, there is another gas which can rekindle the glowing splinter, so we know that oxygen is also present. Important and a very interesting question, so I am just highlighting it so that you do it once again. Next type of question. The next question is, what do you observe when copper nitrate is heated? So when copper nitrate crystals are heated, you get copper nitrate and 6 water, as I told just now. Strong heating, copper nitrate will give you copper oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So a bluish green crystal changes to bluish green mass, copper nitrate, and steamy vapor, we spoke about it just now. Copper oxide, we spoke about it just now, black residue. Nitrogen dioxide, we spoke about just now, reddish brown fume. And another gas which rekindles the glowing splinter, as done just now in the previous slide. So copper oxide was done in the previous slide, nitrogen dioxide, oxygen was done in the previous slide. Crystal, about this steamy vapor, also done in the previous slide as well as the previous video. So the entire answer should be put together. I have not put it together because I want you all to remember it from the previous slide. Please, if you have not paid attention, go back and see that part again. If you really want, you can go back to the previous video as well, see it properly and come back. Okay, so now on heating, lead nitrate will give you lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide, oxygen. We were talking about this equation in the previous video, but the observation is that it decrepitates. Yes, this is important, that lead nitrate will have a crackling sound, will always decrepitate, will give you yellow residue that fuses with the glass. We are talking about lead oxide, yellow residue fuses with the glass. Very important, please, you should not miss this out. About nitrogen dioxide, yes, reddish brown fume. About oxygen, yes, another gas that rekindles the glowing splinter. Now, ammonium dichromate on heating will give you chromium oxide, nitrogen and water. So there is a color change, the orange color on heating, the substance changes to greenish yellow. And another gas, nitrogen with water. I would suggest for nitrogen to see what you can write from your previous knowledge, and I have not written purposely about it. So something, I leave it up to you. You can, if you do not get the answer, please come back to me in the comment section and I will give you the answer. So this one I have left it up to you. Only about the color change I have mentioned. So some little homework I leave it for you. So please do. I have written down some question also. What do you get, or what do you observe when ammonium chloride is heated with sodium hydroxide? If you remember, children, we discussed this question in the previous video. If you don't get the answer, watch it. What do you get when potassium nitrate is heated? This is done in the standard 9's video of chemical reactions, but you will not get so much of time, so you can just go back to your 9th standard book and look for the answer. If you don't, come back to me, I'll help you out. Name a nitrate salt that does not produce a colored gas. You know it because you have done, and I will be doing more detail about the nitrate salt in the nitric acid chapter, and just wait for that video to come. I haven't put it up yet. So these are some of the questions which I have given it to see whether children can really read and get the answer. If you don't, I'm always there to help you out. Okay, so that we have done the identification of cations in the chapter analytical chemistry. We will be now doing identification of anions. Now, how do you identify? Every time we will see that we add dilute sulfuric acid till we get the result, and if we don't, if we need, we can warm it a little, but with dilute sulfuric acid we normally get the answer. So if the gas which comes out is coming out with a brisk effervescence, it is colorless, odorless, it turns the lime water milky and extinguishes the burning splinter. If we see all these in that gas, we are sure that the gas which is coming out is a carbon dioxide gas. So we are sure that the anion which is present is a carbonate anion. Do I repeat? With dilute H2SO4 added to the given salt, if the gas which comes out is coming out with a brisk effervescence, it's a colorless, odorless gas, and it is turning the lime water milky. It is also extinguishing the burning splinter. We are sure that the gas is CO2, and then we are sure that the anion is carbonate. Okay. So the next, if that same dilute H2SO4 is added to the given salt and warmed a little if needed, and the gas which comes out has got a smell of rotten egg, litmus red, and also turns the moist lead acetate paper black, we know now that the gas which comes out is H2S, and the anion that is there in the salt is a sulfide salt. If the gas which comes out is having a suffocating odor of burning sulfur and turns the acidified potassium dichromate orange to green, we know that the gas which is coming out is sulfur dioxide and the anion is a sulfide. So after knowing the cation, by adding sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide and checking out the color of precipitate and their solubility, we know the type of anion which we have done in the analytical chapter. Look for that video. Now we come to look for the anions where we add dilute H2SO4, and if the confirmatory test of that particular gas is given, then we know the name of the gas and therefore we know the name of the anion. I have got one more sheet ready for you where we are actually talking about 2 or 3 more anions, and that is on adding conc H2SO4. Now after adding conc H2SO4 to the given salt and warming it gently, if you get a reddish brown fume, we know that it is nitrogen dioxide, and so the anion will be a nitrate. If we get a colorless pungent odor HCl, that is we dip a glass rod in ammonia solution and bring it to the gas and it gives a dense white fume, we know it is HCl gas. All that confirmatory test we do, we know the anion is a chloride. We can Add one oxidizing agent to the salt and then add conc H2SO4 and heat a little, and if we get a greenish yellow colored gas, we know that the gas is a chlorine gas and the anion is a chloride that will turn the starch iodide paper blue-black. This is the answer to one of the questions asked in the previous video, so please pay attention. One more test. If we add salt to silver nitrate and we get white precipitate, we know that these are the precipitates of silver chloride and the anion is a chloride anion. If the salt solution is added to a freshly prepared ferrous sulfate and conc H2SO4 is added from the sides of the test tube and you get a brown ring, this is a brown ring test, we know that the anion is nitrate. This is important, okay? We will do it in detail when we go to that particular chapter. Here we just remember that what are we adding to the salt solution? Freshly prepared ferrous sulfate and conc H2SO4 from the sides of the test tube. We get a brown ring, and this answers the brown ring test only when there is a nitrate anion. Then if to the salt solution we add barium chloride and we get one insoluble white precipitate, we know that it is a sulfate salt. If we get white precipitate which is soluble, we know that it can be carbonate or a sulfite, which can be proved by using dilute H2SO4, which I just did it in the previous slide. So I have more or less included all the types of test, all the anions, all the cations, all the gases that is there in your syllabus, and I'm sure you have understood. But yes, again I repeat myself, you have to prepare all the chemical equations, you have to learn and remember all the confirmatory tests. So please watch my video, read the chapter. If you have any doubt, please ask me in the comment section, and please like, share and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified about my upcoming video.